They're lying to you when they say starting an online business is easy. They know that if you knew these truths I'm about to tell you, it might scare you away and kill their sales. Anyone can run an online business, but not everyone will, and not everyone will want to. I don't want this video to be all doom and gloom. I just wish I had somebody warn me of these issues that you wouldn't know until you're way too deep in the weeds. I will say this, these are big problems, but to me, running an online business still definitely outweighs having a job. Not everyone is built for this. I want to provide as much information so that you can make the best decision for yourself. If you haven't seen this face before, my name is Chris. I've grown my own coaching businesses online to 7 figures, selling to some of the brokest people on earth, broke musicians. So if I can be successful selling to them, you can definitely be successful in your industry. The first thing you gotta know is you are never clocking out again. You know that feeling you have when you've been staring at the clock for 8 hours and you finally clock out and you're like, and there's just a relief of weight off your shoulders, and you go home and enjoy your family, enjoy dinner, and you don't think about work until you have to wake up the next day and clock in again. That brief little period of no stress about work is gone forever. You are always constantly concerned about something. There's so many parts in the business that even when something is working good, you're thinking about it and you're concerned, what if it stops working? There might be a problem and you're like, what if this doesn't get fixed? There's always something that you're gonna be concerned about. So that mental break of being like, oh, I'm clocked out, I don't have anything to worry about anymore, that's gone forever. If I'm not worrying about how my ads are performing, I'm worrying about how my Instagram organic reach is. Am I gonna make enough money to be able to pay my bills and ad spend and the team? The great part is you end up having to develop a whole new skill of mental and emotional control. I'll just be honest, I'm on antidepressants. I've had anxiety for a long time and I didn't think anxiety was a real thing until I couldn't feel my hands anymore one day. But I've been on medication since, so I've always been this erratically emotional person, whether it was like really high highs or really low lows. But the more you're exposed to situations like that, you start to adapt and you start to tell yourself, well, I either have to learn how to control this or I'm just gonna suffer forever. So over time, as you work that muscle of just constant mental strain and concern, you start to develop skills of control and starting to be able to control your emotion, which is an amazing thing. If you're the person who has the most stable emotional control in a sales situation, you're gonna be the most likely to get the outcome that you want. Let's use another example. If you were trying to get your kid not to do something, you not being able to control your emotions means that it's going to reflect onto them and then they're gonna keep doing the thing that you don't want them to. But if you're able to guide your child through a decision and you're not emotional about it, they're gonna be more likely to listen to you. End of the day, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it helps you develop skills that are so valuable in your life. The second thing, they never told us that making decisions is way harder than being told what to do. I remember working in a 9-to-5 and I was constantly like, man, I hate having to listen to my boss. They're always telling me what to do. I'm sure you feel the same way, and I'm sure you hear your coworkers complain about it all the time. What we don't realize until it's gone is that when our boss tells us what to do and everything is laid out, the whole game plan is all in front of you, all you have to do is just do the thing. It's almost mindless. When the decisions are made for you, you just need to take action. That's what you're there for. You're the person to execute on the plan that was already given to you. When we're being told what to do, we wish for control. But having control means that you have to make the crucial decisions. And decision making is tough. One little decision could either make or break your business, your campaign, your marketing, your sales. You're always one decision away from making a really big impact in your life or on your business. And making decisions constantly is mentally taxing. Have you ever had a job where you sat there and did something really mentally draining, like typing on a computer, working on a project? It's not like you're exerting any physical energy, but then you go home and you feel completely drained. We underestimate how tiring it is to make decisions and mental fatigue. It's difficult because when you're the decision maker, you're also responsible for all the repercussions of that decision. If it breaks, it's your fault. Imagine making tons of those in one day. Now imagine making all those decisions but still juggling doing work. Especially in a beginning phase when you don't have teammates, you're already exhausted from having to do the monotonous things, but now you have to make crucial decisions on top of them, which is why a lot of people don't make it past the beginning phase. It's almost like life is testing you to see if you're even cut out to make it happen. And decision fatigue is a real thing and it's real hard. You see Steve Jobs, he used to wear the same black turtleneck and jeans every single day. A lot of the top CEOs wear the same clothes because it removes removes one more decision they have to make in the day. That's how crucial it is. That's how important it is that the top CEOs are taking drastic measures to remove as many decisions as they have to make in a day. The third thing, nothing is stable, everything is chaos. When we work a job, it creates this addiction to a paycheck. It's just enough to get by until the next paycheck. Then you'll spend it again, then you'll know the next one is coming. It's just this massive cycle that you get stuck in. When you run a business, there are no more happy mediums. You're either on top of the world feeling like a god, or you're beating yourself up wondering why you ever started this in the first place. I learned this in a therapy session when I was getting put on anxiety and depression medication. What they say is depression is the dip down, anxiety is a massive spike upward. So when you have anxiety and depression, it's this constant roller coaster of just up and down on emotions. You're either down in the dumps or you're the highest of highs. When you take antidepressants, what it does is it compresses the wavelengths of how high it goes and how low it goes. So then you're like this medium. And if you take too many antidepressants, guess what happens? You start to feel numb and you don't feel any emotions of happy or sad. You're just like this zombie. That's what it's like with business. When you have a good month, you're at high and then you spend all your money and then you crash down. There's good months, there's bad months, there's good years, bad years, good days, bad days. It's no longer linear, so you almost have to be like addicted to mayhem. You just have to understand that you're kind of giving up this balance, and you just have to find peace in being on that roller coaster. Everyone's problems are now your problems. At one point, if your business is successful enough, you're gonna have to hire on team members. And guess what? Their entire well-being, them being able to feed their kids and their family, is now reliant on you. You have to bring in enough business. They need to make enough money. They need to be able to support their family. And it's the same with your clients. No matter what service or product that you sell, it's solving somebody's problem. So your clients and your customers now, those problems become yours. You are the problem solver. That's why they hired you. So not only do you have your own burden, but you have theirs in a way. The highest pay always goes to the person who takes on the most risk or the most burden. That's why stocks are the same way. The more you put in, the more you win or lose. Of course, every situation is different, but that's generally how it goes. The person who takes the most risk or burden is the highest paid. So you just have to be okay with it. The fifth thing is money management. This is a problem that you don't realize you have until you make money. When you don't make very much money, you just think, man, if I could only just double my income or triple my income. That's definitely what I thought about my first 10K month or 20K month or 50K month. Definitely didn't happen. When you go from not having any money to actually making some money, you know nothing about money management. Plus you're extremely excited about the money that you just made. When I made my first 10K month, I would go to music festivals and I would just buy everybody a drink. I didn't know any of the people, I just bought them all a drink. 20K month, same thing. I splurged it all, I bought a bunch of nice stuff. It was gone the next day. 50K month, same thing happened. I was a person that was used to making $3,000 a month given $50,000 in a month. At that point, you just realize that you don't know what to do with money. So you will learn the lesson when you spend all your money. And then you end up in a spot where you're like, where did it all go? My advice to you about money management is to learn it before you earn it. If you have the discipline and the skill set to know what to do with your money before you get it, you're gonna be in a much better place when you do receive it. Otherwise, it's gonna cost more to learn because then you're just gonna spend it all and then realize you don't have anything and it's not infinite. It sounds like a simple concept until you get your hands on the money. It's almost irresistible to just like splurge on things that you never knew you could have. So the sooner you can learn about money management and what to do with your money, the better it is. Because there's a lot you're gonna have to juggle. You gotta think about marketing expenses, tools, hiring people. You gotta think about putting money aside for taxes. These are all things that you'll wanna figure out before you make the money. Otherwise, you're gonna put yourself in a really bad situation. But would I ever trade owning a business online for a job ever again? Absolutely not. I just made this video sound real bad, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. There's so much beauty in struggle. When you do hard things, you become so proud of yourself because you never realized that you'd be able to accomplish it. And all the people around you start to see that it's possible. You also get to develop skills and traits that most people don't have. And with those skills, you just become a more valuable person. When you work a 9 to 5, you trade your time, you get the money, then it's gone. When you own a business, you learn the skills and they stack upon each other, and there's no ceiling to how skillful you can be. So these are all issues and complications that you naturally run into when you start an online business. But nothing, I believe nothing, is worse than trading the best years of your life to somebody else and putting your dreams on the back burner to work on somebody else's. If you want to know my exact exact journey from how I worked at Subway to quitting my job and growing $1 million company, I will leave the video right here. If you're a mentor, you have a coaching business online, or you have valuable knowledge you want to sell to other people, in the description, there's going to be a free training that shows you how to grow a high-ticket online coaching business, how to market yourself, and how to attract the right people. The link is in the description if you want to check out that free training. Subscribe to this channel if you thought this was helpful and you want to learn more business stuff like this, and I'll see you in the next video.